Hello, guys, and welcome back to once again another live stream here on the VB Thomas platform. Today, we will be racing with the Formula One Racing League, as it is going to be another Grand Prix on the Brazilian track. It is the Sao Paulo. What is it actually called? No idea. Well, doesn't really matter. So it's going to be in Sao Paulo today, as we will be talking a little bit more about last race. First, we had a Baku sprint where Hackett Racing won that race. Jake GDS in P2 and Lloyd Butler in P3. No, actually, that's not true. I've made a mistake right there. My apologies, guys. So track information is going to be in Brazil, like I said already, with a population of about 216 million people. The first Grand Prix was in 1973, and from the Formula One Racing League, we have no data on who has won the most Grand Prix on this track. The quali record here in every race I've commentated on is a 17.9 that was set on Tuesday, and the lap record is a 19.7 that has also been set on Tuesday. Now let's have a quick look with the track layout. Of course, it's going to be a short qualifying and a 50% race, with the race distance being 155 kilometers and the track distance being 4.3 kilometers. As you can see, into turn 15 you will have a DRS opportunity going down the main straight. Into turn 1, hard braking zone. It's a little bit of an S, if you can call it that. You can easily make a switchback work around there. As you can easily see that the guy with the white car has made that move. So beautifully done there from that guy. Now down the main straight into turn 4. This is going to be turn 4, then into turn 5. And then into turn 6 and 7, a very difficult section to make an overtake on, but you can easily make a move into turn 8 or 10, which is going to be a hard braking zone, a little bit of a hairpin, as you can see right here, turn 8, then into turn 9, long left-hander, and then you will have another hard braking zone into turn 10, and that is also going to be a good overtaking opportunity. Now into turn 11, I hope you guys are not able to hear that. No, you are not. Into turn 11, you will have a little bit of a wheel spin right there. So that is going to be the track layout. Now, strategy-wise, safety car probability is not that high. Neither is a tire degradation rate, and neither is a tire overheating probability. So a one-stopper is definitely doable. Hard softs is a good one to anticipate a late safety car on. Medium hards, hard mediums, or soft hards, although I don't like starting on the softs, of course. Now, let's have a quick look with the predictions here, as I need to get the grid real quick. I'm going with Hackett Racing in P1 again. This guy is just so fast. We've got Jake GDS in P2. And who are we going to put in P3? Let me have a quick look. I might want to put Kyle in there. He seems to be pretty fast. Biggest loser of the evening is going to be quota pick, and the biggest winner of the evening is going to be Kyle. So that is going to be the predictions of today. Now let's get not into the race yet, as the lobby hasn't been started yet. So we're going to be taking a little bit of a break, and then we will be right back with ya.
I put the team on my back. I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap. Nobody ever gon' challenge me. Started my week on a Sunday. They think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off. Waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around. Never be turning around. Ayy. Never be slowing it down. Never be slowing it down. Ayy. I keep my foot on the gas. I keep my foot on the gas. Ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash. I know I'm never gon' crash. Ayy. Never be turning around. Never be turning around. Ayy. Never be slowing it down. Never be slowing it down. Ayy. I keep my foot on the gas. I keep my foot on the gas. Ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash. I know I'm never gon' crash. Ayy. Everyone making excuses. I've been busy making music. They just wanna see me fall off. Know that I'm never gon' lose it. Got addicted to the chase now. People saying that I changed now. Know that I'm never gon' stand still. I'm treating the game like a race now. They really been carefully watching me. They treated me like I was calories, but really they can't get enough of me. They treated me like I'm a salary. They bringing me up in discussion. They wondering how do I do it so casually. I celebrate all of my victories. All of a sudden they all gonna be mad at me. Damn, I don't have time for concern. I just go live and I learn. Trust me, I waited waiting my turn, living my dream in return. This is a given, it's earned. People been listening over the world, I've been making that money while I be asleep. I never rented the money, but now all the money been too busy running to me. Hey, I put the team on my back, I do it all for the family. Everyone think they can rap, nobody ever gon' challenge me. Starting my week on a Sunday, they think they can make it in one day. I just been ready to take off, waiting my turn on the runway. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. Never be turning around, never be turning around, ayy. Never be slowing it down, never be slowing it down, ayy. I keep my foot on the gas, I keep my foot on the gas, ayy. I know I'm never gon' crash, I know I'm never gon' crash, ayy. I'm not doing this for the money, so don't misinterpret my last line. The weather ain't always been sunny, but I know that I'm gonna still shine. You never gon' make it till you got the power to go and develop a strong mind. Cause everything happens where you don't expect it, the journey ain't given a deadline. I'm going till I got a flat line, connecting with people like landline. I've been blowing up like a landmine, I put myself on like a...
Alrighty. Here we are, lads. As it is going to be another race in the Formula One Racing League. We will be racing on Brazil, like discussed already. And I'm just going to have a quick listen how the quality of the microphone is, like I usually do, just to make sure the quality isn't going to be bad. To be honest, it is better than all the other days, so I've done a good job trying to sort out the microphone. I've done my best today. Everyone is going on the softs, I imagine, here in this qualifying, but a lot of guys are going to be in the pit lane still. You want to wait as long as possible. Thanks, Oranje. Appreciate it. How exactly do you pronounce your name? Because I know Oranje Boom is like a Dutch word, but I'm pretty sure you're not Dutch, so I'm just wondering where the name comes from, if you don't mind me asking. Yes, we're now on board with Kyle Bradbury, and we do expect a lot from the English driver. In all honesty, I did expect a little bit more from him last week, where he did not get a pretty good result in Div 2. I do think he was driving in Div 2. Commentating Div 1 today. Now let's have a quick look with Mr. Bradbury. He is not there. Kyle is not on the standing, so that might mean that he was indeed driving for Div 2. I'm gonna have a quick look if he's in the Div 2 standings. Azerbaijan. He was indeed. He had a DNF starting from P4, so he probably is a reserve driver, and the Div 1 needed a few reserve drivers today, so they're going to be racing in the Div 1. Well, the Div 1 needed reserves, so they're going to be racing in Div 1. I think Div 2 is full. Actually, 18 drivers in Div 1 is absolutely not bad. We've seen leagues that weren't even able to put 10 drivers on the board, so in all honesty, this league is very well managed, and the guys are really putting a lot of effort into trying to get people to race. You know, I'm seeing a lot of attendance remarks of the guys who haven't put attendance yet, to try and get some new guys to vote, well, to mark attendance every now and then. So we're driving on board with Kyle Bradbury, a guy I know from the beginning of the season. Actually, he was my first, well, the driver who set pole on the first evening I did commentary for Formula One Racing League. I think it was in Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken, where he got pole by quite a bit margin. Today he's gonna try to do the same, racing for Div 1 tonight. Is that actually a beer? That's crazy. I didn't know it was a beer. Is it? What? Where is that beer from? Is it Dutch? Why do you actually drink Dutch beer, bro? That's full of piss. Drink Belgian beer. Belgian beer's for real beer drinkers, you know? Kyle Bradbury now coming across the finish line, as it is going to be a 1:10.3. A little bit of a disappointing result there from the McLaren driver, but he did have the fastest third sector. Bish, who puts himself in P1 right now, as the Mercedes driver has put a 1:8.4. So there's still a lot of time to improve there. As we could see, the guys that did on Tuesday had a 1:7.9, so that's about 5/10 faster than these guys. But I'm pretty sure there will be some guys who are going to be able to improve. Hector has left the session, unfortunately, as that is going to be the Red Bull driver in the pit lane. Haha, totally get that, Orenia. Totally get that. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you really like piss beer, just try Heineken. I don't drink beer myself, but I've heard it's not that good, but it tastes like nothing. So if you're not really used to drinking beer, just try that one. It's just a shit beer, I heard people saying. My dad actually said it. He rather drinks a Jupiler or a Duvel. Butler now coming down the main straight, as the Haas driver is going to put himself in the top 10, possibly. He is indeed. It's going to be a P7 for now, as we're now driving on board with Blades, the Ferrari driver. As Blades usually is a guy who's going to be able to put himself in the top 10, but then somehow kind of loses a couple of positions during the race start. Fastest second sector for the Ferrari driver right now, as it seems like it's the Ferrari livery, the new one already, that they're going to be using in the Monza Grand Prix with the yellow. And it's a nice livery, but in all honesty, I'd rather see the Alfa Romeo car, as both Alfa Romeos are not chosen today. So I think the guys from the management did that on purpose, because everyone knows I'm a big Alfa Romeo lover, and there's no Alfa Romeo on track today. So I'm not going to be able to see my beautiful car on the track, and I'm not going to be able to support the guys that I'm trying to support in the Alfa Romeo team, of course. Now, Blades puts himself in P3, so a good result there from the Ferrari driver. Now Smeary Titan, as we might want to drive on board with the Ferrari driver. Doesn't seem like he's on a fast lap, as he doesn't go too fast through those corners. We might want to drive on board with Hackett Racing, probably the favorite for pole today, as he's now entering sector 2. Doesn't take too much curb on the inside, as that is probably not going to be a fast lap from the AlphaTauri driver. He's got that slow Ferrari driver right in front of him. So I really wonder what Hackett Racing is going to be doing here. Is he going to go out for one more other lap? It doesn't seem like he's on a fast lap right now, although it does seem like he's on a fast lap, but I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to improve anywhere on the other guys. No, Lunacy is completely free, buddy. Just Google Lunacy and you will be able to download the app. You do have to keep in mind that it's a free app, so it doesn't really offer everything. You're only able to make things and like make logos and no real videos, so you're not able to make anything moving, if that makes sense. But all the things I did today are done with Lunacy, so yeah. And then of course the overlay, which I have, which you see right now, I made that using a graphic designer. So the graphic designer, he just told me, what do you need? And I said, please make this. But of course you can also make this with Lunacy. So if you want to try and work your way through Lunacy, just check it out. It's a free app. It's a free platform where you can easily design shit and all that kind of stuff. I make all my designs with it, so it's always nice to see, except for the logo. The logo is definitely not with Lunacy. It's hand drawn by a graphic designer. So A Prime, an old familiar face from the King of Leagues. Actually, he did participate in King of Leagues back in April. And the Haas driver currently puts a P8, and we see a couple of guys who have actually attended King of Leagues, including Smurf and Flip. A Prime too. I thought there was someone else too. Not 100% sure. In Div 2 we've got Benji Bucket and Tina Stick, who were both attending King of Leagues, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks, Oranje. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying my best, you know. I've been commentating for a year already, so it needs to be some decent quality for these guys, because otherwise, yeah, it isn't really worth it to get a commentator if the commentary and the overlays and everything he offers isn't good, right? You're trying to promote your league. You're actually giving a compensation to the commentator, and if the commentator is shit, then yeah, I mean, you don't really want to be paying for a commentator that isn't worth it, if that makes sense. Now let's go on board with Hector. As he left the session, seemed like he joined back. Yeah, coming back to the commentary shit, the league owners, they're paying for a commentator, right? But the commentator, well, in my case, I'm always trying to improve, if that makes sense. Like, starting to do the commentary, I had a broken headset. I had no visuals. Well, I had a few visuals, but they were fucking awful. I can send you definitely a video of what it looked like. It's 1,000 times worse than this. But in the beginning, I had a broken microphone. I said to myself, all right, I might be getting a little bit of money with this. I might want to invest into a new microphone. So I made the gamble. I spent some money on the microphone. It was like 80 euros, which is about 60 pounds. And it worked out quite fine. The microphone quality was good. And yeah, that's that. Then trying to develop the stream a little bit, I invested into the overlays and all that kind of stuff, which you're able to see right now. And then just trying to develop right now. Back in July, I made an investment of a new headset, which you are able to see at the beginning of the race, of the beginning of the stream, of course. My previous microphone was actually one which you had to put on your desk, but it wasn't very nice, because when I moved my mouth, you were really able to hear the difference between being far away from the microphone and being close. Right now, with a microphone plugged onto my headset, I can do anything. I can move freely, and I can do anything. I can even go stand up and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was a big investment, if that makes sense. Yeah, I kind of had some problems with the audio, so I'm glad that's been resolved. A couple of weeks ago, it actually exploded in my ears, the headset. So, you know, when it makes like a big popping sound and then you don't hear anything anymore, well, that was this microphone. But well, the audio, the headset, of course. But yeah, it was a good investment, in my opinion. I mean, I'm now able to do anything I want. Also, I'm going to Dublin in a couple of weeks, so I'm really not able to put a microphone on the desk. I just have to put it onto my head. And it seems like I've got a little bit of stick drift for some reason. Right, it's been fixed. Smeary Titan, he is not on a fast lap. We might want to drive on board with Butler right now, as the Haas driver is possibly on a fast lap. Seems to be going a little bit slow here. He's possibly on an out lap. What's your guys' opinion about this Haas car? Do you think it's nice? Do you think it's not that nice? I feel like it's a little bit simple, if that makes sense. The color scheme and all that kind of stuff. Black, well, a lot of black, then combined with white and red seems to be a little bit childish, if that makes sense. Like, look at the car. It looks like it's drawn by a child, if that makes sense. Yeah, some people like it, some people don't. It's a little bit of a, you know, last year we had a completely white car with some black and some red, so it's always going to be Haas with red. You know, the logo of Haas is with red, so yeah, we're always going to see the black and the white and the red color scheme from the Haas team. But I feel like they could do a little bit more with the design than delivering this, of course. I mean, not too sure who the guy is that designs these kind of cars, but it seems to be a little bit simple. There's not a lot of sponsors on there either. It's like Haas and MoneyGram, and that's about it.Maybe a couple of small ones, but you're not really able to see that. It seems like MoneyGram is really the biggest one on there, so we might gonna see Haas getting out of business in the next couple of years, because we heard rumors that there was gonna be Porsche and Audi, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see another couple of teams. Unfortunately, my Alfa Romeo team is gonna get Bada 2. There goes the Haas driver. He's got a broken front wing. Unfortunately, he still had time to come into the pits. And he has to watch out for that Alpine car there. And that is going to be 18 Nuno, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not actually. It's his teammate. And where is his teammate? It's Dunsby. Dunsby, who seems to be on a fast lap right now, is going to drain all of that ERS down this main straight. Coming into turn 4 right now, taking a lot of grip on the inside and the outside. And that is definitely going to give you a lot of straight line speed coming down this little straight here into turn 6 and 7. Where you will also need to touch the curb down the inside. Has a little bit of a snap there. Doesn't seem to be very good of a lap, in my opinion. A good line, it wasn't. As he unfortunately invalidates his lap there. Dunsby, who might have felt the pressure from the commentator. Not too sure if he's actually watching. But the Alpine driver is not going to be able to improve this lap. Maybe he's going for another one, as he's still got 3 minutes into this qualifying. And there is a yellow flag somewhere, but we're not able to see that. It's an AlphaTauri driver going a little bit slow. As Eric Pinto now joined the session. As it is going to be the only Alfa Romeo driver. Nice shit. Is it also going to be with the new livery? I really wonder, because that livery is actually pretty nice. With the blue and the red and the black. It's actually a nice livery. It's like apple blue sea green, cyan, I think it's called. I'm not 100% sure. And then the pole sitter of tonight, a 1.8.2, is going to come out again. He feels a little bit pressured from behind. You know, you've got Bish and Engine who are pretty close to the Williams driver at the moment. So, might not be a bad decision by V. Strilka. As he does have a couple of drivers in front of him. It's going to be the AlphaTauri and the Aston Martin. Maybe also the Haas driver. He needs to watch out though. Where is that Haas car? Seems like it's only Butler. Oh no, it's A Prime now coming into turn 3. Down the main straight goes the Haas drivers. We might want to drive on board with him. As he is on a fast lap though. He goes for a lot of curb down the inside. And we've got Strilka going a little bit slower in sector 2 right now. But we're focusing on Prime. Is he going to be able to put himself in the top 5 here today? Yellow flags in sector 2. That is going to be Strilka going a little bit slower again. This A Prime seems to be on a pretty fast lap. Not too sure if he's actually improving. Let's have a quick look. Coming across the second sector line. It's a 1.4 seconds slower, so he might come into the pits, or he might want to go for another one. If he comes into the pits right now, he's not going to be able to improve anymore. And if he goes for another one, he goes indeed for another one. He can try again. Of course, there's a 1.2, well, 1 minute 20 still in the session. So the guys are probably going to be able to set one more qualifying lap. If you invalidate your lap, you are going to be race and qualifying over. I mean, not race over, but qualifying over. A Prime now coming into sector 2. Into turn 4, takes a lot of curb on the inside and the outside. Almost invalidated there. That was pretty close for the Haas driver. But of course, all of those eSport drivers take these kind of lines. So if you want to be fast, you really need to take the risk to get a track invalidation. Now, it doesn't take too much curb on the inside in turn 9 right there. He's got an AlphaTauri driver right in front of him. Going into turn 10, does take a lot of curb on the inside. That might be a good lap from A Prime, as he is not improving. He's up by 600s. Coming down the main straight, did he make a mistake? As he's coming across the line, and it is gonna be a 19.3. He is 700s slower than his previous time. He might want to go once again, but he possibly doesn't have enough ERS. As he slides through turn 2, loses control over his car, and unfortunately was not going to be able to improve. He doesn't really need to watch out for anything behind him. Engine retired from the session, so does Prime. As Strilka now coming down the last corner, turn 15 this is. Coming down the main straight, goes the Williams driver. He does not improve, he's not too scared. The top three now is not going to be able to improve. Maybe Hackett Racing is. He was my favorite for the pole, of course, after his dominating first few 8 rounds of the season. As we might be able to say that he's going to be your champion of this season too. As Hackett in the racing now coming down the main straight, he was improving by about 2/10. Maybe he can get something off his time right now. Coming down the main straight, it is going to be a P3 for the British driver, as he will have to put a little bit of more effort into the race if he wants to win it. Because a P3 is definitely not going to give you that trophy. We've got the Lithuanian in P1. Zenjin in P2, which is actually a Dutch driver. Nice to see. Goeie lap, man. And we've got in P3 Hackett Racing, P4 Bish and Kyle Bradbury in P5. Further, we've got Blades, Smurf, Philip, Kodapik, Vindog, A-Prime, Dunsby, Smeary Titan, Butler, Hector, Nuno, Jake, Mitchell, and Eric Pinto. We've seen Eric Pinto race for a couple of leagues already, as I do think he's got the flag of either Miami or the country, which starts with an N and looks a lot like the swear word. And I'm not going to be saying that on stream anymore. You know, I'm just feeling like I'm going to get a lot of hate for it for some reason. You know, these guys. You know, usually a lot of guys are like that. Not guys, of course, but like women. And they're saying, ooh, you're racist and all that kind of stuff. No, I'm not. It's a country, you know. Deal with it. Let's go not into this subject. It's always the same kind of people. You've got the guys who are trying to not be racist, and then they're being called racist while they're absolutely not. And yeah, I'm not too sure. It's just getting out of hand these days. Usually a lot of guys don't mean things that they say, or like they're getting interpreted wrong. But yeah, of course, some guys are still a little bit racist these days, and you'll have to deal with it your own way, of course. Now, we're not going to be talking about racism here. We are going to be talking about the Brazilian Grand Prix, as the guys are going to put themselves on the grid right now. It's going to be the formation lap. I'm going to take a quick sip of water while we are watching the tires. Strilka has gone for an alternative strategy as he goes onto the hards. Possibly listen to my strategy prediction, and going for the hards and then ending on the softs, which might be a good shout. 6 people behind him are starting on the mediums, and we've got Flip in P8 on the hards. Kodapik, Vindog, and Prime have gone for the medium tires, so we might be seeing Flip losing a couple of positions there, and then most of the guys at the back of the grid are going for hard tires, except for Butler and Eric Pinto, who have chosen the medium tires. It does seem pretty interesting that nobody goes onto the softs at the beginning of the race. Usually you see a couple of guys who want to go for the softs, trying to, you know, gain a couple of positions that first race start. But of course, nobody wants to take a risk this late into the season. If you're battling for a top 3 position, you definitely don't want to start on the softs, risking you crashing out, of course. As we've got a couple of guys on the medium, so they might want to be pushing here, as it is going to be more than half the grid on the medium. So we might be seeing a lot of position changes, especially in the middle of the field, with a couple of guys on the hards and a couple of guys on the mediums. Usually the medium tire runners are getting off the grid a little bit more fast than the hard tire runners, which is quite obvious. Lars CP4 in the quali, that's quite nice, buddy. Congratulations, you've done pretty well, I'm pretty sure of that. Congratulations to you guys. Div 2 is also racing, but unfortunately this league only has 1 streamer, and that is going to be me. So I'm doing 1 week I'm doing Div 1, the other week I'm doing Div 2. Every 2 weeks I'm doing a division, if that makes sense. So everyone is gonna put themselves on the grid right now. Ah, that's nice, Larcy. I might want to switch over to that if the race is still going on. Am I allowed to show that on stream? Probably I am. All right, everyone has put themselves on the grid right now. We might want to see how many position changes there are and who is going to be making a move into turn 1. It's going to be green flags and the 5 red lights are going on in a couple of seconds. And we might want to focus on the top 3. Strilka, who is on the hard tires. The guys behind him are on the medium tires. There's still someone putting himself on the grid. That is going to be the McLaren driver all the way in P17, Jake GDS. And I'm not too sure what he is doing, but everyone is waiting as their tires are getting cold right now. So the longer you're standing still on the grid, the colder your tires get, of course. There's a couple of guys with a DSQ, including Flip, Dunsby, Smeary Titan, Butler, Hector, and Eric Pinto. And I'm not 100% sure what Jake is doing at the moment. He's just standing still, I'm afraid. Disqualification from the session, parked in a dangerous location, as he is going already. Yeah, lobby is bugged. Makes sense. I'm not too sure. Are we gonna have a safety car restart? A lobby restart? Let me have a quick look. I've got someone in the chat. As we've got 5 red lights here in the Brazilian Grand Prix, I might want to have a quick look in the Div 1 chat. And there we go, it's lights out and away we go. Strilka, who's got a fucking horrible start there off his race as he loses a lot of positions, and the lobby host has left the session. So we're gonna be having a lobby restart here, as we will be right back with you guys.
I think that I'm into her, but I know that I'm insecure, so I don't think I'll talk to her. But damn, I like to rock with her. Yeah, I think that I'm into her, but I know that I'm insecure, so I don't think I'll talk to her. But damn, I'd like to rock with her. Probably way better off, like never mind. You told me that that you had enough, like minimize. But tell me why you clueless, and all my haters shooters. Everybody sound the same, they say they ain't sued us. But watch out how I sat my bank now. I made it out of mud. If I ever said I love you, I just said that just because. How the fuck can someone love you if you do not how to trust? I'm feeling gang right now, cause I'm hanging with the thugs. I'm who she play right now, cause I finally got my buzz. Yeah, feeling like Billy C. Yeah, run it up like the needle. Yeah, she don't wanna play, that's why she leaving. She don't wanna play. Tell me where we stand. You could break my heart, but you won't break again, oh no. But tell me where you went. And I know you're gone, and I know we're done, I guess. But don't you hear me calling, calling? Don't you catch me falling, falling? Like you don't want no part at all. You don't want no part at all. You'd probably rather watch me fall. Probably rather watch me fall.
I think that I'm into her, but I know that I'm insecure. So I don't think I'll talk to her, but damn, I'd like to rock with her. Yeah, I think that I'm into her, but I know that I'm insecure. So I don't think I'll talk to her, but damn, I'd like to rock with her. I'm just looking for a girl who be hella holy. She don't need to talk to me with a rollie. I'm just looking for the one girl that can show me that somebody loves me, I ain't lonely. Cause I got a lot of side chicks tryna blow me. They just want me, I'm rich, you below me. Got me thinking I'm shit like a phony. Used to be a sidekick, now you own me. I'ma take it for the win, I ain't never gonna stall. Maybe take her for a spin, I'ma take her to the mall. Everywhere I'm going in, yeah, I'm finna buy it all. Put the money in the bin, I ain't never gonna fall. And I'm always on the scene, I'ma put it on the gram. I don't listen to a thing, no. Tell me who I am, unless you're talking about the green. I don't really give a damn, cause the money, everything. All I really want is bands, yeah. I think that I'm into her, but I know that I'm insecure. So I don't think I'll talk to her, but damn, I'd like to rock with her. Yeah, I think that I'm into her, but I know that I'm insecure. So I don't think I'll talk to her, but damn, I'd like to rock with her.
Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Close to me, bring it close to me. Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Close to me, bring it close to me. Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Close to me, bring it close to me. Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Close to me, bring it close to me. Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Close to me, bring it close to me. Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Close to me, bring it close to me. Close to me, bring it close to me, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Hello, guys. I'm just gonna be talking a little bit because we're just waiting for the grid to be set. So I'm just gonna put myself on screen right now, so you guys will be able to see and hear me. There we go. Test. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. This is Phoebe Thomas, and hope you guys are having a fine evening. Today we're gonna be racing in Brazil, but of course Brazil always is combined with a little bit of chaos. And the chaos already started before the actual race was starting. We had no grid spot for someone in the formation lap, so unfortunately, we are going to be having a lobby restart. So, are we going to have a lobby restart in Div 2? So, actually, we're just chilling right now. We're already 45 minutes into the stream. That is quite a bit, in my opinion. So, seems like the lobby has started again. So I'm not too sure if the guys are going to be disabling the formation lap right now. But I guess we'll have to see that for the actual race. We're going to be in the multiplayer event right now. So, the multiplayer event is always combined with a little bit of chaos and a little bit of lobby glitches. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens this race. It could be that the lobby is going to be glitching again. But of course, it's not fun as a commentator to just sit and wait, if that makes sense. Nobody in the chat either. So nobody seems to be chatting. And everyone is just going to put their car setups on their car and just chilling, just chilling. What's your guys' opinion about Brazil? The track, of course, the track. Could be that you like it, could be that you don't like it. I personally like the track. I used to be pretty fast on the 2021 game. I once put a 1.6.6 in a time trial, and the qualifying, I think I put a 1.6.9, if that makes sense. I think you're about 3/10 slower from your quali pace than your time trial pace, and the guys who said a 1.8.2, I think, possibly put a 1.7.9 in the time trial. So that is always going to be the case. The poll of today was a 1.8.2 set by Mr. Ski. Wait, what is his name again? Skilerau or something like that. I'm not too sure. You're faster in quali. No, Lars, you're not faster in quali. What are you saying? No, Lars. That's not true. Your qualifying was a 1.8.1 if I'm not too sure. In Silverstone, a 120 something, and in the time trial you had way lower. So of course it's with different cars, but still you're slower in qualifying because you're not pushing that much. In time trial you can just keep on pushing, and in the qualifying you still have the risk of getting spun into the wall or like spinning yourself into the wall. Yeah, and in the race you had a 125 if I'm not mistaken. No, it doesn't really matter. Oh, we're gonna be racing again, guys. It's 5 red lights, and away we go here in this Brazil Grand Prix. As it seems like Strelka has got a pretty decent start there. We're going 3 wide into turn 1. Hackett Racing taking P2 here. We've got Kyle already in P4, right on the tail of the Aston Martin driver. Bish, who lost a couple of positions right there from the start. Bish is now going down the inside of the McLaren driver. And is he going to be able to make that move? No, there is a big group forming. 5-man lead right now with a A10 gap to Smurf in P6, Koda Pick in P7, and Blades in P8. And we want to have a quick look at the position changes. No big position changes to be seen. Only Jake, who has gained 6 positions, and Hector coming from all the way P15 to a P19 right now. A Prime has made a move again on Jake, as it seems like there's a Haas driver making a move down the inside. That is going to be A Prime on Vindog. And I do have to say that was a beautiful dive bomb there from the Haas driver. Not too sure if the Red Bull driver caught any damage of that. Doesn't seem to be severe, as he's still trying to keep the toe of the other guys. Let's have a quick look. Started on the mediums. Larcy started on the mediums. The Aston Martin driver around the outside into turn 2. There goes Zenjin as he wants to recapture that P2 from Hackett Racing. Someone is going into the wall. That is going to be Zenjin. And there is going to be a safety car already. Zenjin into the wall. And that is going to be a dangerous situation with the car being parked in the wall into turn 3. Kyle has got a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with Hackett Racing, it seems like. as I'm not too sure what happened there. Hackett didn't really lose any positions thanks to that, so Kyle has to serve those 5 seconds at the pit lane, unfortunately, as he will not be able to get it removed. Oh yeah, go for mediums. Definitely, Lars. Go for mediums. If there's rain in the middle of the race, go for mediums. A Prime with another 5-second time penalty, ignoring yellow flag. Seems like he's going a little bit too fast. He's a little bit too enthusiastic. Zenjin has left the session, unfortunately. The Dutch driver couldn't be seeing this race anymore after seeing he crashed out. And who has a penalty? There's 4 drivers with a penalty, all with a 5-second time penalty. Kyle, A Prime, Flip, and Hector, all the way in P18. So this is going to be a safety car situation. Is anyone coming into the pit lane? It doesn't look like it. Kyle actually is. He's going to serve that 5-second time penalty. A Prime is coming into the pits too. So yeah, it would be really smart for these guys to serve their 5-second time penalty in the pit lane, because they're going to be getting that 5 second anyway when they come into the pits, and it's better to get it during a safety car because you lose less time, if that makes sense. You're going to be put at the back of the grid though. As you can see, Kyle is going to be starting in P17 this safety car restart. No, 16, as A Prime is in P17. Hector might be able to overtake these guys still. He's going to be overtaking A Prime, but he's not going to be overtaking Kyle Bradbury. So Kyle is starting from P16, Hector from P17, and Butlery. Oh, it's Butlery. It's not A Prime who's coming into the pits. Oh, I thought it was. Wait, wasn't it A Prime? That's pretty interesting. Well, it doesn't really matter. Now we have some time to look at the tires. As the top 7 is on medium tires, we had Zenjin also on the medium tires, and Strelka, who actually started on the hards in the first race, has chosen to go for mediums. So not too sure if that is allowed in this league. But it seems like he has switched strategies, as he's still leading this safety car and leading the race, of course. Now let's have a quick look with the position changes. 11 positions lost for Kyle. He is going to be the biggest loser of the evening, unfortunately, for now. No, it's going to be Zenjin. He came from P2, finished in P19. Unfortunately, DNF'd in the pit lane, so he's not going to be able to unclaim his name of biggest loser of the evening. The only guy can be a bigger loser of the evening is Strelka. If he DNFs in the pit lane, or DNFs in the wall, or anything like that, DNFs in the car, DNFs in the safety car, that is also an opportunity. Well, a possibility. But I don't see that happen. You know, if you're able to get pole, you're really able to show some professionalism and good pace on track, hopefully. You know, you could also be a time trial freak and just put some good qualifying laps on, but your race pace is shit. Yeah, of course, you're not going to be able to get a P1. And we know Hackett Racing's race pace is just amazing. Amazingly fast. Rippy has just joined the session, but he's not going to be able to attend anymore. Not too sure what team he's racing for. Possibly the Alfa Romeo team. But is the lobby going to be glitched thanks to that again? Not 100% sure. Zenjin did leave the session though. Butler is going to be all the way at the back of the grid. And the safety car is possibly not coming into the pits. Possibly it is though. Everyone is right behind the safety car. We're in a safety car group right now. And indeed, the safety car is coming in this lap. So Strelka, when is he going to go? He has to wait till the safety car has come into the pits. So what I would suggest is just go as slow as possible, that you have a lot of runaway room to be able to make a move, if that makes sense. Safety car has come into the pits. When is Strelka going to go? It's going to be green flags pretty soon. And there goes the Williams driver. It's green flags and go, go, go here in this safety car restart. We're entering lap 5 right now of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And it is going to be the Williams driver taking the lead. Is anything happening here at the back of the grid? Vindog might be able to make a move down the inside into turn 1. And indeed he does. Although we've got that Williams driver on the inside. But Vindog will have a better exit coming through turn 3. We've got a McLaren driver who's trying to get involved into this battle. Vindog, who has a little bit more speed through the main straight, and he's going to take P8 from Flip right there. Jake, who has a lot of pace, is going to try and get back into the top 10. Well, he is already in the top 10. But Jake now down the inside into turn 6. A risky move from the McLaren driver as someone is off track. That is going to be Hector, unfortunately. Now Jake taking P9. His next victim is going to be Vindog all the way in P8. Now let's have a quick look with Blades, as he seems to be pretty close to the Mercedes driver right ahead. That is going to be Koda Pig. Koda Pig not with a good amount of results these last couple of races. He finds himself not in the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. AERT Chad now has joined the session, as he is going to be possibly looking at this race, just trying to sort out who is going to be their competition in the actual King of Leagues, because AERT is actually participating in the King of Leagues event, and so is Formula One Racing League. Now Jake retakes P8. Vindog is going to be trailing by about 5/10 right now, with Eric Pinto in P10. The Alfa Romeo driver making up a lot of positions now, tries to go down the inside of Vindog. And I do have to say, Eric Pinto gaining about 9 positions is a good way to show his pace here in Brazil. Now he's getting threatened from behind as Flip is trying to get a little bit closer to the Alfa Romeo driver. And it seems like there's a three-way battle for P9 right now. Jake, who is trying to close the gap to A Prime who has had a magnificent start there at the beginning of this safety car restart. Now in P7, gained about 4 positions already, but the real battle we should be focusing on is Hackett Racing and Strelka. Hackett Racing gaining 1 position since the race start. Now he's trying to go around the outside as he broke the ankles of the Williams driver, takes the lead here in Brazil. And it's going to be a lot of back and forward battling between these two, as there is a lead of about 1.8 seconds from the podium to P4. And Mitchell with a 5-second time penalty speeding in the pit lane, and Strelka is going to take the lead. Now we've got Blades trying to make a move. Koda Pig now trying to make a move on Smurf, as they're going side by side. Yellow flags into turn 3, as that is going to be Nuno Rod. Ion Blades. It's a 3-way battle for P4 right now, and we've seen Ion Blades with a pretty good performance in the qualifying. Koda Pig and Smurf, who definitely have a lot of pace in this race, as they both gain 3 and 4 positions here. Another yellow flag in sector 2. That is going to be an Alfa Romeo, and that is going to be the Alfa Romeo of Eric Pinto. He was all the way in P10, possibly P11 maybe. Oh no, he was in P10 indeed, as he was right behind Vindog and Jake. Now let's have a quick look what Ion Blade is going to be able to do with the DRS. Hackett Racing now retakes the lead. It is going to be Koda Pig down the inside into turn 1. And Ion Blade tries to benefit out of it. The Mercedes driver went a little bit too slow into turn 1. Kind of blocked the Ferrari driver of making a move on Smurf. Now Ion Blades is going to be able to make that move into turn 4, and he does indeed take a lot of curb down the inside. Smurf is going to back out of the defense, and that is really great racing from these 3, as they're able to keep it clean on Brazil. And if you're able to keep it clean on Brazil, you're definitely a great driver. Jay goes a little bit too wide there. That's not how you take the racing line, buddy. Doesn't really matter. Prime has now come closer to these 3 drivers, as it's going to be Hackett Racing leading the race right now. Hey Shuki, welcome in the stream. Ion Blades is closing the gap on Koda Pig, and are these 4 drivers going to be able to close the gap to the podium? It definitely doesn't look like it. They're about 3.4 seconds behind, and the more they're going to be battling, the more time they're going to be losing. The Ferrari driver tries to go for the outside line, and it seems like Koda Pig was defending the outside line. Definitely not something that Blade was expecting, as he made a little bit of an ankle breaking move there. It went from the outside line to the inside line in about a couple of tenths. There goes Ion Blade down the inside. Bish and Hackett Racing are having a heated battle, as Hackett Racing is now trying to retake the lead here off Strelka. Now let's go back to Coda Pick into turn 6 and 7. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That is possibly going to be a McLaren driver, and that is probably going to be Jake. Now Smurf trying to plan an attack on the Mercedes driver Hector with a 3-second time penalty, as there is a Haas driver reset to track. That is not allowed, I'm afraid, as A Prime was into the wall, put himself back on track, and that is going to be a couple of positions lost for A Prime right there. As there is an Aston Martin driver going really slow, that is L Mitchell, as he's not really able to close down the gap on any other cars. We've got Coda Pick being able to use the DRS, and that is going to save him from losing another position to Smurf. The guys are having a little bit of a snappy rears here every now and then. Strelka is going to go down the inside of the AlphaTauri driver, and it seems like both the AlphaTauri drivers are doing really, really well here today. And Mitchell, not too sure where he is parked. It seems like coming out of turn 4. Let me have a quick look here. We might be able to look at the... Oh, he crashed in the middle of the track. Not too sure what happened there, but that is going to be race over for the Aston Martin driver. That is good, Shuki. That is good. Nice shit. I'm happy for you. And yeah, 366 followers. I'm growing. I'm growing, and I'm trying to host like open lobby Fridays, if that makes sense. I'm trying to host some open lobbies so that I'm trying to get new audience into the stream. But of course, we'll need to have at least 10 people in the lobby. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to do open lobbies, if that makes sense. Mitchell has left the session, and a lot of guys are coming into the pits, possibly all medium tire runners. Let's say they are going for hard tires. Will they be able to finish this race? They could also go for medium softs. As I kind of forgot to put the game sound on, so my apologies for that. You're able to hear the game sound right now. As Kyle gets another 5-second time penalty, disqualified from the session, blocking the pit lane. That is so unfortunate for the McLaren driver, as he's going to be all the way in P16. And now gets the disqualification. Unfortunately, it has not been the race he was hoping for. Last week in Baku, he DNF'd. Today, here in Brazil, he gets disqualified. And yeah, looking into his previous results, it doesn't really look great for the McLaren driver, unfortunately. As we've got an Alpine driver going pretty slow there in Sector 2. Now entering Sector 3, and is he going to be able to close the gap to the safety car? And we might want to drive on board with a couple of guys who have come into the pits. Tire-wise, Strelka is looking the best. Although Hackett Racing, he might want to go for medium softs here in Brazil. As Strelka definitely is going for medium hards. Vindog and Dunsby both did not come into the pits. They're still on 10-lap-old hards, so hopefully they're going to be getting a safety car at the end of the race to go on to soft tires maybe, or maybe even medium tires if it's somewhere in the middle, like around lap 20. That would be ideal for the Alpine and the Red Bull driver. But they are going to get overtaken by the guys behind them. Because, you know, Strelka, Hackett Racing, Bish, and all of those guys have got a lot of pace on fresh tires. And then, of course, you've got Vindog and Dunsby being on rather old, slow tires. Yeah, it's really hard defending on these tires if you're looking at a possible P5 finish. Because you're going to be under pressure. You're going to be under stress. And yeah, you're going to be starting to make mistakes, especially on old tires. So you really need to keep yourself concentrated on the race, on your pedals, on your fingers, whatever thing you're racing with. Maybe a controller, maybe a wheel. Because there's two drivers on the soft tires. That is going to be Blades and Coda Pick. and they are expecting an early safety car after this one. We're currently in lap 12 out of 36. We're past 1/3 of this race, and we're already past the 1 hour mark of this stream. Due to a lobby restart, of course, nothing you can blame the league owners for. You know, it's a lag from the game, it's a glitch from the game, and yeah, nothing you can do about it. During my event, I will be, if there is a lobby restart, I will change it to 25% instead of 35. Because I might not have enough time to be able to sort all that kind of stuff, so that's what's up right there. Now, we're not going to have the safety car come in this lap yet, so I'm going to take a quick sip of water. I might want to have a quick look at the results of last week, and we might want to talk a little bit more about the driver standings. Now, let's open up the companion app, going to Div 1. Hacked Racing is currently in P1 with 28 points. We've got Jake in P2 with 143 points. Now, we've got a close battle for the top 3 with Lloyd Butler in P3, Dunsby in P4, and Bish in P5. Lloyd Butler is actually not participating tonight, as he's got a problem with his racing wheel. Yo, the Lizard, welcome, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate it. How did your race went? Did it went great? Do you actually still want to commentate for Racing League Esports? I mean, of course, you absolutely can. But if those guys decide to not hold any races anymore, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to find a spot here. These guys are really amazing, and you know, they're really going to be appreciating your commentary if you would decide to commentate here. Of course, if RLE is keeping on holding races, just keep it with RLE, but just in case, these guys are still looking for a commentator, so you can choose whatever you want, of course. But I do know that RLE doesn't have a lot of drivers in their races anymore, as a lot of guys are losing, well, dropping out of the league, unfortunately. So, but yeah, as I said, it's a close battle for the top 3. Lloyd is not there, unfortunately, but it's only 2 points between P3 and P5. So Vindog, amazing start there from the Red Bull driver, as we've got a Dunsby now getting chased from behind by Strilka, and it's going to be a swarm with drivers all on fast tires, all fast drivers, possibly a lot faster than Dunsby. Strilka, who got the pole by quite a big margin, is now on the tail of Dunsby. Is Dunsby going to let him go through? Doesn't look like it. Strilka was looking to make a move down the inside. Now we've got a Mercedes driver raging across the track, and that is going to be Bish making a move into turn 6 around the outside of the AlphaTauri driver, and Hackett Racing is not going to be happy with this. Oh, Dunsby dropping back positions. He crashed into the wall, unfortunately, as he was leading the race. No, he wasn't. He was in P2, actually. But dropped back all the way to P16. And not the safety car restart he was hoping for. But we're currently looking at Bish trying to make a move on Strilka. Strilka possibly had an incident with Dunsby. Otherwise, he wouldn't be dropping that many positions. Broken front wing for someone. That is going to be for Bish. Strilka is letting him go through, as the Williams driver has lost more than 3 positions there, as he is also coming into the pits. What is Strilka going to do? Now let's go back to the front of the grid. We've got Iron Blades being pretty close on these soft tires. 4-lap-old softs. How long will they last? That is a pretty good question. Now, right on the tail of the Mercedes driver goes Blades. He's not close enough yet. We might be looking at Butler taking the lead. Oh, wait, this is Lloyd Butler. This is Lloyd Butler. Oh, I totally kind of missed that, to be honest. But he had some issues with his force feedback, and I'm pretty I'm pretty sure it's been fixed, otherwise he wouldn't be in P3 right now, but he's still on 12 lap old hards. He is struggling out there. Vindog getting overtaken by Hackett Racing. Bish down the inside into turn 9. He's having the outside line into turn 10, backing out of the move. There goes Jake, trying to make a move on Blades, as there's not enough room to make that move. And it's a little bit of close battling here between all these guys. Someone is trying to make a move down the inside. That was going to be Blades. Now it takes the outside line. There goes Bish down the inside of Butler. And he does take that position. The Haas driver losing positions rather rapidly, as he now gets overtaken down the main straight by Blades 2. Jake is looking to make a dive bomb down the inside. That is possibly going to be an incident between the two. Butler retaking P5 right now. Dunsby getting a 3-second time penalty, as it is going to be Blades 1/10 behind. It's three-way battle for top 2 as Blades is down the inside. There's not much room to make that move. Bish takes P2 from the Red Bull driver as he drops another position right there. And Vindog dropping back to P4. Jake at P5, Butler in P6, and Koda Pick looking to make a move on these fresh soft tires. There goes Butler, but he is still on track. Well, he was on the grass though. He lost a couple of positions as Jake is now in P4. The raging McLaren on track as he's trying to get closer to the top 3. He definitely wants to be in the contention for that driver's championship. He's currently trailing by more than 80 points. But if he can get a couple of points on Hackett Racing here today, that would be amazing, although he's more than 3 seconds behind the AlphaTauri driver. Vindog dropping back to P9. As this is not the strategy he has been hoping for. Hackett Racing now taking the fastest lap on the board. Blades in P2. These soft tires definitely are working for the Ferrari driver, as he's leaving the McLaren driver and the Mercedes driver right behind him. Jake looking to make a move down the inside into turn 4, and he is indeed going to be able to make that, although Bish is not giving up. Jake outbraking the Mercedes driver, and Bish being smart right there, backing out of the defense. He yields out of the defense. And great thinking there from the British driver. We've got Jake in P3 trying to get the gap closed to the Ferrari driver. Only 4/10. And this is quite remarkable that Jake on the medium tires is faster than Blade on those fresh soft tires. Although you have to take in consideration 6 lap old softs are not that fresh anymore, but you know, Brazil, you can take these softs a little bit longer. As Hector seems to have a little bit of an interesting move there on Vindog, his teammate. And we saw Hector being at the back of the grid, but he isn't right now, all the way in P10. And the guys at the back of the grid, we've got Eric Pinto and Spirit Titan, and they're behind by more than 50 seconds. Now we've got Jake taking a P2 from the Ferrari driver. And I would say he's kind of the Ricciardo of this league. He just dive bombs whenever he can, and he makes it work. And Blade now trying to retake that position. Jake's not going to give him enough space to make that move around the outside. We did have Blade having that DRS, but it wasn't enough, unfortunately. Strilka on fresh mediums, he's all the way in P14, but he retakes the fastest lap. As I think in this league, anyone can take the fastest lap. Larcy is doing a 10-stopper, quite interesting. Vindog already on 70 lap old hards, as we're now past the halfway mark of the race. As Hackett Racing is just extending his lead right now, 3.3 seconds on Jake. As we might want to be seeing a move from Blades here. Down the main straight into turn 15. He's gonna have DRS and he's close enough. So what is the Ferrari gonna do? Is he planning on making a move around the outside? Does definitely look like it. And that is going to be done by the Ferrari driver on these 8 lap old softs. But we're going to be seeing them die off rather fast, as the soft tires usually don't last that long around Brazil. We did see that the tire degradation rate was not that high. Jake with another dive bomb into turn 4. Beautifully done by the British driver. And this is some clean battling from both drivers. We saw Jake leaving the league last week. Then Sean, the league owner, decided to try to convince him to come back. And coming back. He did indeed. Currently in P2, starting from all the way in P17, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a quick look with the position changes. 17 it was indeed, as there is going to be another safety car situation. Jake currently in P2, and he's possibly running the right strategy, although Blades might be coming into the pits for medium tires. What is Blade going to be doing? This is his time to come into the pits, but is he actually going to? Hackett Racing and Jake are both coming into the pits, so yes indeed, Blade has chosen the right strategy, possibly starting in P6 or 7 during that safety car restart, all the way in P3, battling for that podium position here today as he's going on to the medium tires to finish off this race. 16 more laps to go, 14 more laps coming out of the safety car situation, as Hector now is leading the race. Quite of an interesting leader. We saw him being all the way at the back of the grid during the first few laps of this race. Currently he is in P1, leading the race on 9-lap-old mediums. He does have that penalty though, so we might want to keep our eyes close to that situation, as Hackett Racing might be able to make that move rather fast. Hackett, who's gone for hard tires, quite of an interesting strategy, as I think he went for mediums and then gone to hards, because you cannot go onto the mediums 3 times into a race, of course. And Jake is in the benefit here on those medium tires. So is Ion Blades. And an interesting P5, Nuno Rod. He was not looking to get a top 10 position anywhere into this race, but definitely is looking at it right now. Although a 12-lap-old medium tire runners, 12-lap-old medium tires are not great. He's definitely not going to be able to finish the race on these tires, as he possibly has to come in right now, because otherwise he won't have another opportunity to come into the pits. We've got Bish also being on hard tires, possibly chose the same strategy as Hackett Racing did. Hackett Racing now on these hard tires, and all the other guys at the back of the grid are either on medium tires or hard tires or soft tires, as it is going to be a prime all the way in P14 on those soft tires. Let's have a quick look with the penalties right now. A lot of 3-second time penalties. All the 5-second time penalties have been received in the pit lane already. Hector with the 3-second time penalties. So does Smurf, Kodapik, Dunsby, and Strielka. Strielka, who was really fast during that qualifying, but that 3-second time penalty does indicate that he is not one of the most consistent ones here on this track. As you can see, started in P1, currently in P15. That is not the race he was hoping for, of course, but might had a little incident with Dunsby, who is crawled back to P12 right now, although he does have a 3-second time penalty, so he might be losing a position to Prime and Smeary Titan. But apart from that, a lot of things can be happening here still in this race, as there is still 15 more laps to go in the Brazilian Grand Prix here in Season 2, Round 9 of the Formula 1 Racing League. Guys, make sure to join the league whenever you feel like racing on a Thursday evening. Just go to the Twitch panels in my account and press the F1RL Discord panel, and you will be leaded to the Discord of this league. Just sign up, and I'm pretty sure the owner will give you a seat whenever there's a seat available. Thank you very much, Shuki. Really appreciate it. That's one more viewer extra. I always try to get as many viewers as possible, but it's not easy. It's not always, the thing. I've got 8 viewers right now, so that is above my average, as the safety car is out for one more extra lap. So I'm quickly gonna take a look at my Discord notifications, as the lizard has texted me. Let me have a quick look. I've got a few messages, guys, so my apologies if I'm a little bit quiet, but I'm trying to reply to everyone. And the safety car is definitely gonna come into the pits right now. We've got Hector leading the race, but we might want to keep our eyes close to that battle. Because I wouldn't say he's one of the faster guys here. He's also on slower tires, so we might gonna see another safety car situation. Usually it's that kind of situations when there is a slow driver leading the race, dropping back a lot of positions that first lap and just causing an incident. I'm not gonna say that Hector is gonna be doing that, of course. I'm pretty sure this guy is pretty clean. As we've got a broken front wing at the end of the grid. We've got a broken front wing, and that is gonna be Jake planning a move. There's three drivers. That is chaos. That is chaos. Bish and Nuno both out of the race. Jake taking the P2 here from Hackett Racing, although Hackett's still down the inside into turn 3. And who's going to be taking P2? And Iron Blades is trying to get involved into this battle. There goes Flip around the outside of the Ferrari driver. He backs out of the move as Jake takes P2. Hector now, I thought it was going to be dropping positions rather rapidly. He doesn't actually. He's 1.5 seconds ahead right now as all of the guys behind him are having heated battles right now. Jake, is he going to be planning another dive bomb? Yes, indeed he is, as he takes P2 from the AlphaTauri driver. He wants to get a lot of points on the board for that driver championship. 35 points go to the race winner. Butler takes P5 from Flip, as he is on those medium tires now. Hackett Racing. Oh, it is going to be Jake making the move on the Red Bull driver, and so is Hackett Racing. Hector, who's just going to be losing positions rapidly. I thought it was going to be rather more into the first lap of the safety car restart, but seems like it's going to be in the second lap. Hector retaking that position. Down the inside goes... Oh, what is happening here? Hector missed his braking point, as he's just going to hold back everyone. There goes the Haas driver and the Williams driver. As Butler and Flip, there was not much room for the Haas driver to go through that corner, and the Mercedes driver was there, unfortunately. No, it's going to be the Williams driver, my apologies. And another safety car situation, as the safety car now just has come out of the pit lane. Let's rewind on what has happened during that safety car restart. Into that first lap, we had pretty clean driving there. Hector, who took the lead by about 1.3 seconds, and the guys behind him were all battling. Jake and Hackett Racing, who were battling for P2, and then we had Iron Blades and the Mercedes driver, who was DNF'd, who were battling heavily. And then coming into the second lap of the safety car restart, we had Bish and Nuno kind of having an incident, I guess, because they were both DNF'd. I didn't really see what happened right there. Strelka getting another 3-second time penalty, and that is really unfortunate under a safety car situation. Oh, Jake is coming into the pits. What strategy is he going for? Oh, Hector, 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He wanted to avoid going into the back of Jake. And Jake has gone for another strategy. Not too sure what he's going on. Possibly soft tires, as the top 5 didn't go for a pit strategy. Well, coming into the pits. And Jake is therefore going to be possibly the leader on all the soft tire runners. Let's have a quick look here. And tires. Everyone has gone for the soft tires except for Butler. He has gone for 5-up mediums. And so, of course, let's go back to the rewinding of those first few laps of the safety car restart. So then we had Bish and Nuno Rod crashing out, causing a lot of chaos with a lot of broken front wings. Then going into that second lap, we kind of had Not too sure what happened there. It was just Hector making a move down the inside again, I think. It was a lot of chaos. Not too sure what happened, but yeah, Hector definitely made a dive bomb into turn 1, pushing off Jake, and Jake is going to be frustrated by that once again. And I can't blame him. I absolutely can't blame him. He's really, really fast as he's able to get all the way from P17 to P2 in a really fast time, and then to get pushed off into turn 1, that is really frustrating by a guy who actually shouldn't be battling you. Hector was on 12, well, in that case, he was on 15 leveled mediums. He's just battling with someone who is on 3 leveled mediums. That has got to be frustrating for that driver. So we're just going to be focusing again on the front of the grid when the safety car is coming into the pits again. But we've got Butler all the way in P14. As he is on 0 leveled softs, is going to come across the pit lane, the start-finish lane right now. And Hackett Racing is leading the race. He's on 6 leveled hearts. Is he gonna be losing a couple of positions due to that? You know, the guys behind him, they're all on medium tires. They're all gonna be a little bit faster. And also the soft tires are gonna be faster. So how many positions is he gonna be losing? He really needs to put the pressure on his own shoulders to be able to keep up the pace with all of these guys, because otherwise he's not going to be able to win this race. It would be great to see Jake win this race. He absolutely deserves it. I'm definitely not favoring the McLaren driver, but I feel like after a couple of previous races, he's just been very unlucky not being able to fight for that P1 in the Drivers' Championship. And right now he should be battling in the top 5, which he actually isn't. He is in P6 right now on fresh soft tires. Of course, he came into the pits, so that might be the main reason. But how many positions is he going to gain during this safety car restart lap 1? Hackett Racing is going to be leading this safety car restart, but when is he going to go? He's going as slow as he can. We don't want to see any other incidents at the back of the grid again. As Hackett Racing, when is he going to go? There goes the McLaren driver. That is going to be Jake, retiring from the session. Frustrating evening for the McLaren driver. As I said, he was looking to battle with the front of the grid. And Hackett Racing is currently laughing in his racing seat. If he is racing with a wheel, of course. As another couple of retirements as they're going to be crashing into the wall down the main straight. And Hackett Racing has done a pretty good safety car restart here. The only driver he needs to be afraid of is Ion Blades right on his tail. There goes the Ferrari driver around the outside. A Prime gets a 5-second time penalty, ignoring yellow flags. Not too sure what he get that 5-second time penalty for, as the safety car was already in the pit lane. Ion Blades now trying to keep it close to Hackett Racing. And as I said, you know, the P2 in the Drivers' Championship just crashed out. So P1 is just going to be even leading this Drivers' Championship more after this race, if he doesn't crash out, of course. A Prime now taking that position from the Red Bull driver. Eric Pinto doesn't seem to be racing anymore. And Ion Blade still on the tail, actually, of Hackett Racing. It's tail to Real Racing. Yes, indeed it is. Blades now taking the lead of the race right now, as the Ferrari driver is on those fresh medium tires. Hackett Racing has to do it with 8 leveled hearts. He's losing a couple of tenths. Hector, 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not too sure what his strategy is going to be. But how many tenths is Ion Blades going to be gaining on Hackett Racing right now? It doesn't seem to be a lot in Sector 1. But both AlphaTauri drivers on the podium today. That is really great racing from that team, as they are currently leading the Constructors' Championship. That is unfortunate for Jake. Yeah, I saw that happen. I think it was during the safety car restart, wasn't it? Really frustrating, buddy. But please don't leave the league. You know, these kind of people need to be penalized. But they're not going to be penalized by you leaving the league. So just let Sean know what has happened, and maybe he can do something about it. Butler now trying to keep a Vindog behind him as the Red Bull driver is going down the inside. That was really close racing. If it was a couple of meters to the left, he would have gone into the pit lane actually. As A Prime now takes the fastest lap of the race, a 1:10.8 if I'm not mistaken. Butler still on the tail of Vindog, and Blades now takes a lead of about 9/10. Vindog is getting attacked from behind. Butler trying to gain a couple of positions for that driver's championship, of course, as he's currently in P3. And he's got, who is that? Dunsby and Bish, but Bish crashed out, unfortunately. Whereas Dunsby, he's in P5, so not too bad by the Alpine driver. But the guys on the soft tires didn't really gain a lot of positions going on to the softs, in all honesty. You know, you've got Strelka right now in P6. He gained a couple of positions, but not on any of the medium or the hard tire runners. We've got Flip and Smeary in the wall, also on soft tires. So actually the soft tire runners, not too sure if that was the best decision they could have gone for. A Prime right now on the tail of Vindog. We've seen Vindog getting overtaken quite often here today as he cuts a little bit of the curb there. That is going to be moved done by A Prime as he's right on the tail of his teammate. A Prime definitely does have the pace around Brazil here. But is that going to be enough? Strelka right now, with the use of DRS, he's going to make quick work out of this. As the Williams driver now takes a P5, he's going to be in the top 5 of this race, possibly in the top 4. But in that case, he needs to have a little bit more pace and not battle too much with Dunsby. Dunsby, who is currently in P6 on 10-lap old medium. So he's going to be the first victim of all those soft tire runners. And we might be seeing Butler closing down the gap on Dunsby. Get a little bit of another move. He's been going up and down every now and then. During this race, of course, during the Brazil Grand Prix. Koda Pick being pretty close to Smurf. So is the Mercedes driver going to snoop away that podium position for the other AlphaTauri driver? It would have been nice to see someone else than both AlphaTauris on the podium, as indeed he is. Koda Pick takes the podium away from Smurf. But a lot of guys have got penalties. Strelka has got 6 seconds of penalties, so he really needs to watch out. Gets another 3-second time penalty as A Prime crashes into turn 3. What has happened with the Haas driver right there? There's gonna be a lot of DNFs here today, as there is gonna be around 9 people DNF'd here in Brazil. Usually Brazil is a track where you're not gonna be seeing a lot of DNFs, but apparently the guys are. Eric Pinto has joined again, as Butler is on the tail of Dunsby. He has been overtaken by Strelka already on the soft tires. And is Butler going to be the next one? It does seem like it. Takes a lot of curb on the inside. Dunsby seems to be struggling a little bit here on these medium tires now into the last corner of this track. Butler was looking to make a move down the inside. Wasn't really going to work around there. You really need to be alongside the guy to be able to make that move. 1/10 for the Haas driver. He takes the outside line into turn 15. Does Butler make that move? It does look like it with the use of DRS. And that is going to be easy move for the Haas driver. His next target is going to be Strelka. But if he can keep it within 3 seconds of the Williams driver, well, actually, no, 9 seconds. He just needs to be ahead of, well, behind of 9 seconds. And maybe we're going to be seeing Butler on the podium, actually, as we've got Koda Pick in P3 with a 3-second time penalty. We've got Smurf in P4 with a 3-second time penalty. And Strelka, of course, with that 9-second time penalty. Blade seems to be struggling again on these medium tires, as he's got a raging AlphaTauri with that bull on his car, actually a raging bull, literally and figuratively. As Heck Racing 4/10s behind the Ferrari driver. There's only 4 more laps to be driven here in Brazil. And who's going to get this race win? It also depends on who is going to get a 3-second time penalty. Or if nobody is going to get a 3-second time penalty, of course, the winner of the race is going to be the one that comes across the finish line first. But we do know that a finish line, well, a photo finish is really dangerous here. Well, coming around that last corner in turn 15, right, you will have DRS. So you will be able to make that move if you're behind the P1 down the main straight. Hackett Racing now taking the lead. Blades is just gonna wait. He just has to wait. He doesn't have to. Oh, Blades get a 3-second time penalty. That is gonna be ruining his race, and that was really minimal. That was a really close track limit there, as Butler possibly gets a track limit in the same corner that Blades did, and that is gonna be podium finish away for the Haas driver, as he now has to crawl back to the top 4. As of course he's going to be getting a position from Strelka, who's got 9 seconds of time penalty. But Dunsby is really able to keep up with the Haas driver right now on these medium tire runners. Medium tires. You do have to say that Dunsby really has the pace here today. Kodapik loses a couple of positions. Not too sure what happened to the Mercedes driver right there, but he's letting Strelka and Smurf battle it out. Strelka now goes down the inside. He makes that move on the AlphaTauri driver. Kodapik tries to go around the outside into turn 2. Is he going to be able to make that work? It does not seem like it. Has a little bit of a slippery rear there, and that is going to be a loss of position. Now Butler is trying to get a little bit closer to the Mercedes driver here. And I do have to say, at the front of the grid, it's usually nice racing. It's always clean racing. We've seen so many battles between Aeon Blades and Hackett Racing, or Jake and Aeon Blades, and you know, all of those moves are really, really great. But you can definitely see out of this grid that most of the guys who finished, well, who qualified at the back of the grid are DNF'd. You've got A Prime, Flip, Smeary Titan, you've got Nuno Rod, you've got Mitchell, and that is about it. Actually, it's a little bit mixed, in all honesty. A Prime wasn't really at the back of the grid. I mean, I'm not saying that A Prime and all of those other guys are dirty, of course, but yeah, usually the guys at the front of the grid are really, really nice. As you can see here, Kodapik goes down the inside of Smurf with the use of DRS. Smurf backs out of the move. There's only 2 laps still to be driven here in Brazil. And Iron Blades is going to be smart. He's just going to stick behind Hackett Racing. He's going to be patiently waiting to make that move. Iron Blades looking to get a little bit closer to Hackett Racing. He should have the advantage here on these medium tires. But is he going to benefit out of it? A Smurf. Oh, Strelka getting another 3-second time penalty. That is going to be 12 in total. He's going to be dropped back all the way to P8. That is quite funny. Actually, you know, these penalties can be very harsh every now and then. You know, 12 seconds of time penalty. If you've just got a safety car situation, well, we had one 6 laps ago, you're definitely going to be losing a lot of positions. Eric Pinto and Hector, who had a little bit of an unfortunate race here today, they're definitely not going to be able to get that position from Strelka, but Kodapik, Smurf, Butler, and Dunsby are all going to benefit out of it. Now, we want to focus on this first place battle, because we've got Hackett Racing and Iron Blades in P1 and P2. Hackett Racing is actually going to get the DRS, I'm afraid. So Blades is going to be... Oh no, he's not going to be making this move. Maybe down the main straight, coming out of the last corner, but he needs to be fast. Hector, he is still racing, but it is a ghost. And Blades is possibly going to be distracted thanks to that. Smurf now taking P4. Blades, what is he going to do? 7 tenths, 8 tenths behind Hackett Racing. It is not going to be enough, I'm afraid. Into turn 9, into turn 10. Goes the Ferrari driver, 6 tenths behind Hackett Racing. Is he going to make his dream come through to win the race here in Brazil? Doesn't look like it. 6 tenths behind Hackett Racing, and Hackett Racing is going to take another race win here in Brazil. And that is going to be your race win for the AlphaTauri driver. Congratulations, Blades takes P2, and it is possibly going to be Smurf in P3, as you're now coming across the last corner. Butler, is he going to be taking this P4? with the use of DRS, it's not going to be enough down the line, and it is going to be the Mercedes driver taking P4. Butler has to be happy with a P5. We've got Dunsby in P6, Vindok in P7, and Strelka gets dropped back all the way to P8. Eric Pinto, who had a little bit of an unfortunate race today, he lagged out of the lobby, came back in, lagged out again, and came back in. He's got to be happy with a P9 after so many incidents. I mean, Wi-Fi incidents. Not too sure if he has been involved in any other incidents, possibly. If you see how many positions he has dropped, actually. Driver of the day is going to be Butler. Congratulations to that Haas driver. And here is going to be your podium. Hacked Racing taking the race win here from Iron Blades. It was a beautiful battle for the race lead these last couple of laps, but Hackett Racing came on top and is going to be your race winner here in Sao Paulo. We've got Blaze in P2, Smurf in P3, Kodapik in P4, and Butler in P5. Further, we've got Dunsby, Vindog, Strelka, Eric Pinto, Hector, A Prime, and then all of the other DNF guys. Flip, Smeary Titan, Jake, Nuno Rod, Bish, Mitchell, Zenjin, and Kyle Bradbury. So your biggest loser of the evening is going to be Zenjin. Your biggest winner of the evening is going to be Butler. Came all the way from P14 to get a top 5 finish. Congratulations to everyone who has made it across the finish line, and I'm going to be finishing off the stream here, guys. I thank everyone very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. This was Phoebe Thomas as your commentator, and I will be streaming. Well, my next stream will be on Monday, so my Friday league and my Sunday league unfortunately decided to not have me commentate for the next couple of weeks due to low attendance and due to various other factors. But yeah, guys, we will be possibly back next week. I'm still not 100% sure, as the friend of my girlfriend has a party and she asked if I come, so we will have to discuss that, but I will definitely let you know later in this week. So guys, thank you very much for watching. My apologies for my pronunciation every now and then. I know it wasn't perfect today, but I hope. Yeah, Shuki, that birthday party, you know which one I'm talking about. No, I know I didn't want to go, but I'm like still doubting. I'm still not sure. So guys, I'm going to be shutting off the stream. Thank you very much for watching. This was Phoebe Thomas as your commentator, and we will be seeing you next week. Peace out.